Hello everyone and welcome to DIY Ideas. Today I'm showing you how to make an awesome baby blanket. You can see here what the style is. You're going to see in a moment how you can make it all by yourself. So this is about 50, 60, 70 centimeters on each side, depending of course on how tightly you work and how much yarn you have. So we're going to do this with trebles. It's going to be super simple. So even if you're a beginner, you're going to get a great result. And yeah, I think that's all that's important for now. Let me show you what I used and how I did it. Stay tuned. So let's start with the Baby Smiles Happy Baby Wool. We have here 200 grams, 540 meters, 7.05 ounces, 591 yards. And yeah, it's for a hook size 3 to 4 millimeters. And yeah, let me see if there's a color number. Okay, we have 100% acrylic. Okay, there it is. So it's 84 if you want this exact same number. Okay, let's take the label out and we can get started. Okay, here is the label. Let's see if we have something else that's important. I think we're ready. And you can see here it's colored yarn, so we have a lot of light blue, baby blue, some pink and some white in here, and other blue shades as well. So I really like the way this is kind of put together, and we're going to take the middle out and get started with it. This is really cool, yeah, with these little holes and the netted pattern and stuff, definitely something different. Anyway, here is the outside thread, the outside beginning or end, and we have the middle one too. So since the yarn is pretty thin, I'm gonna do it double. So I'm gonna do the outside and inside end at the same time as if it were just one piece. That way you can get a project quicker and the result is a little bit bigger. Depends of course on the type of needle you have. But for now, I'm just going to show you the regular way, but if you wanted to do the double, you would have been able to do it the same exact way. So anyway, let's move this a little bit out of the way, and here we have our beginning thread. And as the title says, we're going to be doing C2C, which means corner to corner. And yeah, we're going to be working with trebles, so we can get started. Let's start with 6 chains. There we go. So my 4mm hook fits perfectly. Now we take our yarn over, go into the 4th from the hook, the 4th chain, go in, do a treble, which means we go through 2 and through 2 again. And then we do a yarn over and we do a treble into the following chain, and we're going to do a total of 3 trebles. There we go. We are now done. We have the first box done. You can see what it looks like. And we have chains that we began with here and the 3 trebles right next to it. So let's start a new row, and we're going to do that again by doing 6 chains. So you see here we're just continuing, and that's where the next box is going to be, and in the end when we're done we're going to connect it to the existing one. It's going to be really cool. So let's do 6 chains again. Then we can turn, yarn over, repeat the same thing. So into the 4th chain from the hook, and we do the first treble, the next two right next to that one. And now you can see the two boxes done, which is exactly what we want. And now we can connect them with a slip stitch. So you see how they kind of fall into place. So the slip stitch is super easy. You just take the thread with you, nothing else going on. And then we do 3 chains for the height. So in between the boxes, we always need just 3. Then we go underneath the chains that we did here, and we do again 3 trebles. And yeah, it's super easy here because we go underneath the chains and not through them, so you don't have to pay attention to where you're going through. It's the biggest spot on there. And this is a little heart that we have. So you see here the first box that we did, first row, these 2 on the top are the second row. So let's start row number 3. We're doing 6 chains again. And now yarn over into the 4th chain from the hook, treble, 2 more after that, and that's your box. I think I went into the wrong chain though. Let me fix that. Okay, this is the 3rd treble, and now we connect them. You see naturally where they fall into. So here around these chains we do a slip stitch, 3 chains for the height, and then 3 trebles here. There we go. Chains at the beginning, trebles at the end and middle, and now we do that again. So we're going to do a slip stitch here to connect, 3 chains for the height, and 3 trebles. And then we'll be done with row number 3. So here we have the first 3 rows now, and you'll always see the number of boxes correspond to the number of the row. And the open end is always going to be the zigzag end, and then these sides are going to stay straight with every new row that we do. So now when I reach the length that I would want my blanket to be, whatever that is, then we're going to start going up and not expanding that side anymore. But I'll show you that when we get there. So let's do again 6 chains for the height so that we can start row number 4. And again the same thing into the 4th chain from the hook, do a treble and do 2 more next to it. Just make sure you're going into the right spot. So this is the trickiest part, just the first box where you find, where you have to find the right chains, but apart from that, every next box just has the chains you go around on the bottom. So that's why we also do just 3 chains for the height. We just need the height of the treble and not the length of the box as well. Here is a little update for you. So this is what I have, and I love the color changes. I think it looks so awesome. So you can see here the open end, so the one with the little boxes, I like to call it the zigzagged end. This is where we worked, so this was our last row. And now what we want to do is stop increasing the one end or one edge, and we want to keep kind of finishing this corner so that we get that blanket. So you see here what I mean. Triangle number 1 is done. We want to do section number 2 now. So we're not increasing this edge, but just the other one, and then we're going to do box number or triangle number 3. So I did weight a wool when I started, and I have about a third of the yarn, or 2/3 left, which means 1/3 was this section number 1, the triangle number 1, which should be just right. So we should have enough yarn to do the whole blanket now. So this plan here is just to make things a little bit simpler. I hope it helps, but anyway, we're done with triangle number 1, and we're continuing with the section number 2. So we're not increasing the other edge anymore, the length of it. I'm almost done with this. Let me just quickly finish this off. So we're doing 3 chains for the height here, 3 treadles, and this is the last row where this edge will be growing. Okay, so now it's going to be super simple from here on. So this side is not going to grow anymore, which means we're just going to turn as it is. We're going to go into every stitch that we see with a slip stitch, nothing else. So just take the thread as you go with you, and then we should be where the chains are right here. So we're going to do 3 chains for the height, go around these chains and do the trebles just like we've done so far. So in this case, we're basically just skipping the starting the new row with the 6 chains. We don't need that. We're just skipping with the slip stitches to the spot that we need, and then we're continuing with our boxes as we have done so far. Okay, so here is a little corner forming. Now the next box that we do is going to make it even more visible, and with every next box it's going to get better and better. So this is going to be the third side, the third edge, so to speak, and then what we're going to do is get over to this corner, and then I'm going to show you what we do next. Okay, so now I'm at the other end. I did the whole row. We're gonna do here 6 chains. So on this side we are increasing, and then again the same thing into the 4th chain from the hook. We start with a treble, we do 2 more, and we connect with the neighboring box. So this is the side that's still gonna grow. That's why we're doing the 6 chains and the first box in the row. So this is gonna be the straight edge that we want right over here. Let me show you on the little sketch what we've done so far. So we're doing rows like this, kind of diagonally. Let me just draw a couple of lines. Okay, so yeah, this is how we went so far, and we're about somewhere here, I think. So we've stopped increasing the left side, which means we're going up, and then we're just gonna keep going with the rows like this all the way up to the last triangle that we have here on top marked with number 3. And then we're gonna continue just like that till the top, but we're not gonna increase any of the sizes. We're just gonna finish up the open corner. When you have your blanket in front of you, of course, it's going to make a lot more sense This is just to kind of help you visualize it before you're there. But if you're being confused by this, you could just get started with the project and you'll see it way better with the actual blanket. So yeah, we're continuing this side right here so that we can finish up the other corner that you can see here that we already started. And yeah, when I'm done, I'll be back. So here is the edge where we stopped and formed the corner. And what I'm doing now, I'm again back there, so I've done all of the squares and squares or boxes, and now we're just going to connect with a slip stitch again. We're going to turn, and then we're going to go back with 3 slip stitches so that we can get to the spot where we can continue with our boxes without increasing the length of this side. Three chains, and now we go back the exact same way, and then when we start the next row, as always with 6 chains, we'll be back here and we'll do the same thing we just did again. So you see here we already have the 3 boxes here, and we're going to have even more. So on this side, you can see that I have the corner nicely done. So a couple of rows later, this is where I am. And this is the new edge that we have and the latest row. It's still pretty long, so this blanket is going to have a really nice size. Now this here is where we're going to stop as well on this side, which means we're done with section number 2, and we will be beginning section number 3. If you remember the little diagram, that's going to be the last corner that kind of finishes up. I hope I'm able to show you everything since the blanket is, as I said, pretty big already. I hope my camera can catch the size of it and you can see at which point I am right now. But yeah, I love the color gradient, I love the texture, and yeah, I'll continue with section number 3, and then we're almost done. So here is where we are right now, and now we just want to close that off without increasing any of the edges. So when we started here on the bottom, that's kind of where we expanded to, and now we're just decreasing. I have one more box to go. Close up with a slip stitch, turn around, do 3 chains for the height, and we can start a new one, 3 chains for the height, and now we're just continuing with the same row as we've done so far. So just the beginning of every row is where we don't do the 6 chains but 3 slip stitches, and that's how we get this last corner done. Okay, here is the update. So you see here the little corner that we have. So I hope if I zoom out enough, then you can see where we started and how this expanded. The first triangle, the first section, you see the little corner there. Then we have the second section that's kind of a diagonal section, and now we're just finishing, there we go, the last triangle. So I'm here at this tip right now, and you can see I just have the 1 box left, and I'm gonna connect it with a slip stitch, and then we'll be completely done. Okay, so I have just a tiny bit of yarn left over. I think we did our calculations right. I don't know if we've if we would have enough for another row. But this is the blanket that we have for now. I think it looks amazing. I love the colors. I love the texture as well. And yeah, in my case, this was 50 times 70 centimeters. Of course, depending on how tightly you work, how much yarn you have, it might be a bit more or a bit less. But I think for a baby blanket, it has a really, really nice size. And yeah, when we shorten the leftover thread and weave it in, we will be completely done. And I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you did, feel free to let us know by shooting a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel, and if you do, don't forget the notification bell. I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye!